All right. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the 45th Annual Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony. My name is Jacques Doucet from WAFB TV here in Baton Rouge, and I am honored to be your master of ceremonies for tonight's event. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to introduce this year's incredible class of inductees. This class represents some of the most outstanding athletes, coaches, and administrators in Louisiana high school sports history, and we're thrilled to celebrate their achievements here tonight. Now, without further ado, I present to you the 2023 Hall of Fame inductees. Please join me in welcoming them with a round of applause as they make their way to their seats. First up, William Bill Boffinger, a legendary Louisiana high school wrestling coach, led his teams to more than 300 victories and 10 city wrestling titles, and was also recognized for his contribution to the sport of wrestling when he was inducted into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame in the year 2005. Warren Capone, competitor, a standout linebacker from Catholic High School in Baton Rouge, was a legendary figure in Louisiana high school sports. He had an incredible high school career followed by an outstanding college career at LSU, and then in the career of professional football as well. Capone's legacy as a player and coach earned him a well-deserved place in the Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame. Kate Ripple Kramer. A former student of Parkview Baptist High School, was a successful athlete in various sports and received multiple accolades, including All-American in swimming, and was a Wendy's High School Heisman State winner. She went on to play soccer at Texas A&M and LSU, competed for the USA National Triathlon team, and won the Spartan Race Stadium Series World Championship twice. Vic Dalrymple, coach. An incredibly accomplished football coach, and achieved an impressive 75% winning percentage with a record of 312 wins while coaching Oak Grove High School from 1981 to 2012, during which his teams won 4 state championships, 19 district championships. His coaching expertise and dedication have earned him the respect of his peers and players, and left a lasting impact on Louisiana high school sports. Sandy Fussell, coach. A former coach and athletic director at Assumption High School, is recognized as one of the most successful volleyball coaches in Louisiana high school history. She led her teams to 8 state championships and was awarded the LVCA State Coach of the Year 9 times. Her induction into the Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame is a well-deserved honor and a testament to her dedication, hard work, and passion to the sport. Jackie Laborde Monkhouse. As a coach at Pineville High School, she was a pioneer of girls' sports in Louisiana and established girls' basketball, softball, and track teams at the school and coached them to great success. Over her 34-year career, she won state championships in basketball and softball and was named the State Girls Basketball Coach of the Year and was a National Coach of the Year finalist. Randy Livingston. A renowned high school basketball player from Louisiana who won 4 consecutive Louisiana State championships and was recognized as a McDonald's All-American in 1994. He was also a very successful coach, leading his alma mater, Isidore Newman High School, to Louisiana State championships in 2022 and 2023, an outstanding player at LSU and a long NBA career as well. Randy Livingston. Janice Cole Outlaw. A trailblazer for women's basketball and a pioneer in Louisiana high school sports. She dominated on the court and on the field in high school, receiving numerous awards and accolades. Outlaw continued to make history and inspire future generations of women's athletes, becoming the first head women's basketball coach at McNeese State University, and her remarkable career has left an indelible mark on Louisiana high school sports. Mitch Small. He served as the LHSAA's first full-time marketing director for 27 years, played a crucial role in securing sponsorships and developing partnerships to finance and expand the association's offerings. He's also known as the voice of the Prep Classic and retired from the LHSAA in 2019, leaving a lasting legacy as a trailblazer in Louisiana high school sports. Dwayne Strother. A legendary girls basketball coach who spent 40 seasons at Florine, leading his teams to 6 championships and setting a national high school sports record for the most points in a season. He received numerous awards and accolades throughout his career and also served as head coach for softball and golf. His induction into the Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame is a testament to his lasting impact on Louisiana high school sports. I'd like to take a moment to recognize some very special guests. Please join me in welcoming the Hall of Fame committee and members of the LHSAA Executive Committee. A special shout out to any former Hall of Fame inductees in attendance tonight. All of you, please stand to be recognized. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Jimmy Anderson, the Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame Committee Chairperson, who will give a brief welcome and recognition to all of our guests.
And Jock did say brief, so it will be brief. On behalf of the Louisiana High School Athletic Association, the Louisiana High School Coaches Association, and our committee for nominating and selecting our Hall of Fame members, it is my honor to welcome you here to this very prestigious event tonight. We're excited that you chose to be here tonight to help us honor our 10 inductees. Our 10 new members brings a total of 339 in our high school Sports Hall of Fame. These are individuals who have earned the highest honor we can bestow upon them from our organization. As you read their accomplishments in the brochure and see their videos, it will be obvious that they are all Hall of Famers. Please sit back and enjoy the evening. Have a good time. Thank you.
Jimmy, my paper said brief. You want to talk longer, you can. So people are getting hungry, though. So it's now time to enjoy dinner and get ready for the main event. We'll be starting the Hall of Fame induction ceremony promptly at 6:45. We have a fantastic lineup of videos and awards planned for you tonight. So we'll be back. All right. We're going to move into the main part of our ceremony this evening. It's now time for each inductee to be recognized with a video. And after each video, we invite each inductee to the stage to receive their plaque and their ring. Our first inductee, William Bill Boffinger.
Hi, I'm Bill Boffinger. My story starts, I guess, really in New Orleans. I was born in New Orleans, raised there to the 5th grade. In 1956, we moved to Baton Rouge. I ended up going to Lee High School. In Lee High School, I went there the first year. It opened up in 1959. And I was a three-sport athlete. I played football, basketball, and a track. And they didn't have wrestling back in those days at Lee. I was lucky enough to earn an athletic scholarship to LSU. I went to LSU on a football scholarship, and I lettered and lucky enough to play in the Cotton Bowl and the Sugar Bowl.
Second down, goal to go now. Stokely again hands off to Smith, and this time he cracks left guard for a yard and the touchdown.
I really kind of got interested in wrestling as far as what we did in an off-season program at LSU. We wrestled down in the stadium all the time, and so I just kind of took a liking to it and thought it was fun. When I first started teaching, I graduated in '69 with a BS in education, and I got a job at Lee High School, my alma mater. And my high school football coach, Tommy McCoyne, got me in as a football coach, and while I was there, I ended up coaching football, track, cross country, JV baseball, but I was also coaching wrestling, and I started a program in 1969, and because I didn't know anything about wrestling, one of my real good friends, Barry Wilson, who I played with at LSU, got one of his friends from Holy Cross to come by Lee High and helped me with the team. One of my real good friends from college was Barry Wilson. Barry Wilson was a two-time state champ at Holy Cross. And in the off-season at LSU with football, we did off-season wrestling. And Barry, you showed me these moves. I said, that's pretty cool. I like that. So when I got to Lee as a teacher, I started a team. As far as all the fancy things, I don't know that. I mean, but I just did fundamentals. Then I started going to a bunch of camps and doing that and trying to learn as much as I could about wrestling. Over the years, I just kind of got to the point where I was handwriting letters to coaches all over the country and really kind of surprised that a bunch of them back in those days would write you back and tell you, I was asking, how they run a practice, what are the best moves to use? What do you do to encourage kids to come out for the sport? Probably one of the biggest things I've done was maybe started the Lehigh Lehigh Invitational Wrestling Tournament. I started that in 1973. It was 8 teams and single elimination, and it was just a really small tournament. A couple of years later, maybe about 6 years later, 7 years later, it just kind of got too big where we had to go to a 2-day tournament. And it got to be one of the best tournaments in the state. And one of the main reasons why is because back then, before 1999, it was 2 divisions, Division I, Division II. And at the Lee Invitational, both divisions went there together, and you could really find out who the best wrestler in the state was. And in 2000, the LHSAA went to a 3-division tournament. And so now it's even better now that all 3 divisions come together in this one big tournament. 2009, when Lehigh got closed down, Catholic High School with Tommy Prohaska and all of his people over at Catholic, they picked up the tournament. And the tournament was now called the Louisiana Classic. And this past year, a couple of months ago, it was 56 teams in the tournament. And it was absolutely one of the best tournaments we had. It celebrated the 50th year of the tournament. So I'm really pleased that Tommy took it over and kind of got the ball rolling and everything. And it's still the one that most kids in the state, other than the state tournament, really look forward to doing. I started a newspaper. I came out before the season started, during the middle, and at the end of the season. The purpose was the kids would read the newspaper. They find out where wrestling camps are during the summer. They'd learn different techniques. They'd see who won these different tournaments and stuff. And it was really pretty good. I really enjoyed doing it. I made a program, and it wasn't very big to begin with, but what I started doing, I started taking it to where it was, the winners from last year, who's coming back this year, the brothers who won Louisiana Classic titles, fathers who coached their sons, fathers who won and their sons have won. So it's a bunch of different things. It's about a 95, 100-page book. And those kids, what they do when they get to that tournament, other than trying to win it, they want to get their name in that book. And it's like, this is pretty neat. I retired in 2019, and the last 4 years I've been going back to Baton Rouge High and helping as an assistant coach, working with more of the younger kids and ninth graders and first-year kids and stuff like that. So I'm still involved in it, and it's a blast. I enjoy it, every bit of it. A couple of the big influences on my life and my wrestling, coaching life. Number one had to be Dale Kettleson. Dale Kettleson came down here from Iowa, and he was a LSU wrestling coach, and he was so instrumental in pushing wrestling all over the state. And he was an unbelievable influence on every guy who's wrestled in this state. Another guy that was really a big influence with me was Ken Cole. He was going to LSU Law School. While he was going to LSU Law School, he'd come over to Lee and he'd practice with us. And when he graduated from law school, he went over to Lafayette, and he was very instrumental in getting the wrestling program started in Lafayette. Ken was just really a great guy. We used to have the greatest competitions of putting on tournaments. I was putting on the Lehigh Invitation. He was putting on used to be then, Lafayette tournament. Big influence. And my family, my wife and kids, they stuck behind me with all this. It's just been a pleasure doing what I do. I probably never would change a thing I've done, I don't believe.
Congrats, Coach Boffinger, on your induction into the Wrestling Hall of Fame. Wrestling teaches mental toughness. Thanks for being my teacher. Enjoy the award, much well deserved.
Hey Pops, congratulations. What an honor it is to be inducted into the LHSAA Hall of Fame. We're so proud of you. I love you.
Congratulations, Willie B. We are so proud of you.
Congratulations, Dad, and one more Hall of Fame to add to the list. Great accomplishment. We're very proud of you.
Congratulations, Willie B.
We love you.
Yeah, we love you.
It never was a job for me. It was always just going to school, coaching, and working. It was fun.
Once again, William Bill Boffinger. I've also been told that the rings that you will be receiving will be mailed to you. They did not come in quite in time, but those rings will be mailed to you. Our next inductee is Warren Capone.
I was born in Baton Rouge in 1951. My parents, my dad was Mike Capone. My mother was Marie Capone. I have two brothers, Michael and Brent. They're two great brothers.
The first time I recognized that you were something special was that we were playing in the backyard, and we had some visitors that came in from Donaldsonville. I mean, you were no more than like 6 or 7 years old, and we were playing football, as we often did in the backyard with these grown men. And the ball was snapped or whatever, and the ball went to this cousin of ours who was a 30-some years old, and you went about tackling him. You know, it was a touch football game, but you actually tackled him. So at that point, I said, you know, this guy is cut differently. He's a different animal. So in terms of your approach to everything was aggressive and commitment and all about focus, and that continued throughout your athletic career.
I started very young. I was in the first grade. I started with the Lady of Mercy team there and moved on to Catholic High. Barrett, Murphy, and Joel Smith were my coaches in high school, and they really were the main ones who helped me to play as well as I did.
I'm gonna tell you, I coached Warren Capone from the 7th grade through high school. So I've really seen the guy in action from when he was a young kid until he graduated from high school. And of all my years of coaching, I'm gonna be perfectly honest, he was one of the best football players I ever coached. When he hits you, it was like a Mack truck.
It really got serious when I went to LSU. I was a two-time All-American, which not many people get the opportunity to say that they did that.
First down and goal to go from the one, and there's a try at it at the right side by Doug Bynum. He hurdles in the air, doesn't make it. He stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. And here on this tackle of Bynum, Warren Capone makes the stop.
We had a good team, a lot of good freshmen, guys like Norm Hodgins, Tyler LaFosse.
Warren, congratulations. It's a big day for you, and it's a big day for us as well as being your good friend. You deserve it. You've paid a dear price over the years, and you gave us great leadership and great friendship. We appreciate it from this point forward, and thank you for allowing us to be part of your life. Congratulations.
Warren, congratulations, my friend. This honor is much deserved, as you have proven to be one of the best high school football players in the history of Louisiana. I never did play against you or wrestle against you in high school, but we got to know each other at LSU. In fact, we were roommates for 4 years. And this was unusual, as many players switched roommates throughout their time in the dorm at Broussard Hall. Warren, it was a blessing and an honor to have been your roommate during those years at LSU. We were both All-American football players together, and now we share this same honor together. Again, Warren, congratulations, my friend, on being inducted to the Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame. You truly deserve this.
He is one of the reasons why I decided to come to LSU play football. Warren made a living at inflicting pain on running backs. And we had a practice before one of the bowl games. We had goal line offense versus LSU defense. We ran 24 lead, went to the right side. Warren made the tackle at the 1 yard line. I didn't get in. Offensive coaches didn't like that, so we ran 23 lead to the left side. Warren Capone again hit me at the line scrimmage, didn't make it in. I got back to the huddle and my head was spinning, and I'm like, can somebody please block? Try to block Warren Capone.
I went from LSU to the World Football League, the Birmingham Americans, and that was a great experience.
This is Legion Field, Birmingham, Alabama. They call it the football capital of the South. Gaddy bangs into the right side on a dive to the 49-yard line. And is brought down by Warren Capone.
After the World Football League finished, I went into the NFL and played with the Dallas Cowboys.
The immediate question, Warren Capone, is if the Cowboys win Sunday, will you replace that ring with a new one?
I certainly will. I'm going to put this one up. I'm already looking forward to it, and put that beautiful Super Bowl ring on my finger with Super Bowl champs, of course. And it's just a great feeling to be a part of an organization like this, and to be in a situation where I get a chance to play in the Super Bowl.
Veteran Bobby Walden, number 39, in punt formation for the Steelers. Golden Richards back by himself for the Cowboys. They try to block him. They got him. Dallas puts it over again. Dallas' second big break of the game as they swarm on Roy Gerela. Warren Capone, the first man there, number 59.
And then from there to the New Orleans Saints. And I really feel good about what I was able to accomplish.
Detroit fumbled 3 times, but one was especially devastating. A poor center snap was fielded by Lion punter Herman Thunder Hands Weaver, who tried to run the ball out of the end zone instead of accepting a safety. Weaver coughed up the ball, which Warren Capone, number 51, gratefully accepted for a weird and winning touchdown. Saints 17, Lions 16.
Hi, Warren, your old buddy Jim Gandy. I just want to congratulate you on your induction into the Louisiana High School Hall of Fame, and you couldn't have deserved it any more, and I'm so excited for you and your family.
I'd like to congratulate you for this award that you've got in Catholic High, the High School Hall of Fame, and you definitely deserve it.
Congratulations on being inducted in the Hall of Fame. Since we played football at Lady Mercy together through Catholic High, it's been a wonderful experience. I'm glad to know you're so proud of you. Congratulations again.
Warren, I just want to congratulate you on being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and just know that I'm proud of you and that I'm proud to be your friend.
Warren, hey, it's great that you're getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. I wish nothing but the best for you, and you've well deserved. We go back way back, and there's a lot of stories that all of us have been able to sit around and talk about, and you've brought a lot of great memories back to all of us. Just want to congratulate you and say it's deserving, and have a great day, Warren.
I want him to remember that I was a good player. It's pretty simple. It's probably the most important thing that other than my wife, it's the most important thing. I have a beautiful wife. I have a beautiful daughter. Olivia is her name, and there's my son, Ross. Without my family, none of this could have happened.
I want to thank the Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame for the honor of this induction.
Hey, Warren, from Coach Murphy, you know I love you, guy. Congratulations on this award. You deserve it. God bless you and your family. Go Warren Capone. Go Tigers.
Warren Capone. I was wondering if that was Vern Lundquist interviewing Warren, and he said, yeah, that was him. So, what a great video. Barrett Murphy, Phil's Oyster Bar, Warren Capone. I mean, you know, Baton Rouge all wrapped up into one right there. All right, our third inductee, Kate Ripple Kramer.
My name is Kate Ripple Kramer. I'm the youngest of 3 children, and I grew up in a house full of athletes. Not just my immediate family, but generationally. My mother's father and her mother were both LSU athletes. My grandfather was a triple sport athlete at LSU. He was a baseball, basketball, and track athlete at the same time and went on to play Major League Baseball for the Milwaukee Braves. My grandmother, who we met at LSU, was an LSU cheerleader. My mother was an LSU swimmer and went on to become a professional triathlete for 9 years, representing U.S. She was a national champion, a world silver medalist, and one of the best triathletes in the world. She met my father at LSU, who was an LSU football player. He was a team captain for LSU and was a linebacker. He was number 39, which, looking way on ahead to college, is why I chose my college number 39. My sister was an All-American swimmer at Stanford University and a multi-time world champion as well. My brother was your typical high school athlete, track, football, soccer, baseball. He could do it all. We all, to this day, consider him the best athlete in the family. Growing up, everything was a competition. We would go outside and my dad would punt and throw the football for allowance. And if we caught it, we got that amount of money. If we didn't catch it, we could forget about our allowance. Everything was a race. I remember my sister would get a stopwatch. Kate, I'll time you to run upstairs, get my backpack for school, and run down. Of course, being 3.5 years younger, I thought it was a game and a competition. She was just a smart older sister who saved herself a trip upstairs to get her backpack. My parents always teamed us up when it came to anything, even road races. We went to a running road race, I remember out at the LSU Lakes. It was called the Banana Relays. The funny thing about it is you actually, instead of hold a baton, you hold a banana. My brother, being only 15 months older than me, thought it would be really funny when he came in on his final leg of his relay to squish the banana right before he passed me the baton. So he passed me a squished up banana that he knew I had to run a mile with and couldn't drop and had to run the whole race with. My mom was my swim coach, Jan, and there was one practice where she got there, and it was about 5 after when practice was supposed to start, and none of the team was in the pool. And she looked at all of us and she said, you know we start exactly on the top of the hour. And she looked at me and said, why aren't they in the pool? And I knew what she meant right there. It was my job as a leader and a captain to make sure that we were all in the pool. And I was right there on the pool deck with everyone else, not being the example that I needed to be. And I knew that from that moment that I had to do the right things, not only because I was punished and had to swim a 200 butterfly from the start of practice, but I knew that if I wanted to be the teammate and the athlete that I needed to be, then I needed to really listen to what she was saying and lead by words and lead by actions. A coaching moment from my father that I'll never forget in cross country was we were at practice at Highland Road Park, and I remember it was a really tough workout of 800-meter repeats, lots of hills thrown in, and he looked at me halfway through the workout, and said, "Walk home." In his stern voice, I'll never forget those coaching eyes, but also those fatherly eyes. And I looked at him really confused. I didn't say anything. And then he looked at me again and said, "Walk home." And I said, "What did I do?" He goes, "It's not about what you did, it's about what you didn't do, what you didn't say." So I remember thinking through those words. I listened to him because I always listen to him. So I walked home 2.5 miles back to my house. I had a lot of thinking to do all the way home. And I remember it hit me on that walk home, and I was waiting for him to come home from practice. The words that he said, "It's not about what you didn't do, it's about what you didn't say." And I remember I was quiet that whole practice. I wasn't having a great day. It wasn't one of my best practices. We've all been there. And I was just tired, but I was the captain and the leader of that team. And I should have been encouraging my teammates. I should have been helping them through that workout instead of focusing on my own misery at the time. And it was such a teachable moment that when he got home, I said, "I understand. I really get what you were telling me." And from that day on, every practice, even when I was hurting, I knew everybody else, all my teammates are hurting right next to me. And that's the thing about sport and life and teammates, is that we're all going through the same thing together. And he taught me from that moment not to focus on myself, but to truly focus on my team, and that we're in this together. We're all going through the pain together. So I might as well use that to uplift and inspire my teammates and other people. I wanted to tell my sister Shelly, who was inducted into the Hall of Fame last year, that I still believe to this day, I think Mom should have anchored me on the relay at City Meet.
Congratulations on your induction tonight. I am thrilled to be able to be here to celebrate with you, not just all of your accomplishments, but the wife that you are, the mother that you are, the sister that you are, the friend that you are, the daughter that you are, and the person that you are to all of those around you. We are absolutely thrilled to be a part of this with you this evening. And one last thing, I probably would have let you anchor that relay too.
I would like to thank first and foremost Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, for blessing me and my family with these amazing talents and abilities, and without him, none of these achievements or anything would be possible. Secondly, I would like to thank all of my coaches that have played such a significant role in my career and my life from when I was little all the way through my professional career. I'd like to thank my club soccer coach, Troy Duhan, my high school coach, Bob Raymond. I would like to thank my cross country and track coaches, my father, Steve Ripple, Dave Cook, who has played such a significant role in my life, not only as a coach, but basically raising me as almost a second father. I would like to thank my mom, who was my swim coach for 5 years, Jan Ripple. She was not only the best mother to me, but the most amazing swim coach I could have asked for. And I would like to thank my college coaches, George Fotopoulos, Danielle Fotopoulos, Coach Brian Lee, and Coach G. Guerreri. Without them, I couldn't have grown into not only the player, the soccer player that I was, but the person that I was able to become because of their influence in my life. And I would also like to thank my honorary coach, Pete Boudreau, the Catholic High legend, who was my pole vault coach throughout high school. I was able to go over and train with him at Catholic High, and I can't thank him enough for everything he taught me. I would love to thank my family, Steve, Jan, my sister Shelly, and my brother Kyle, for the amazing influence they've had in my life and my athletics and my career, the love, unconditional love that they've given me and shown me, and everything they taught me, because the four of them taught me everything I know. I would love to thank my husband, Jamie, for his unwavering support and for his unconditional love, and my 4 children, Lucy, Molly, Leland, and Mary Noel. They are such inspirations to me in their own athletic endeavors and careers and everything that they're growing and becoming. And I thank them for their love always. And I look up to them. They're starting to become my heroes, which is a really neat thing. I would love to thank the LHSAA for this wonderful honor to be here with these incredible inductees and athletes and coaches and all the previous Hall of Fame members. It is just such an incredible blessing and an incredible honor, and I thank you so much.
Once again, Kate Ripple Kramer. Our next inductee, Vic Dalrymple.
I'm Vic Dalrymple. I lived in Louisiana basically my whole life. And my dad was a coach, and he coached in waterproof in Tenshaw Parish until I was in the 10th grade, and then he took the job at Oak Grove. And we moved up there my junior year. At a young age, I basically thought my dad hugged me. I mean, I made every step he made from the time I got big enough to walk. And, you know, the old adage, I wanted to do just what he did. I said I would never be a coach. All during my high school years, I said, I don't know what I'm going to be yet, but I am not going to be a football coach. Because there's too many variables. Well, it rocked along there, and then I graduated from college, and I was trying to think of what I wanted to do. You know, you start thinking about that as far as preparation of making a living and all. And when it come down to it, well, kind of want to be around ball, you know. I went back to Tenshaw Parish and coached with a friend of mine for a couple of years at Newellton High School. After 2 years, Mr. Gamble, the principal, who was my high school basketball coach, gave me a call about the Oak Grove job, and the rest is history. When I moved up to Oak Grove and took that job, you know, Mr. Gamble, the principal, and his brother Mike had been the head coach there for 5 years. And, you know, he really helped me a lot in that frame of how to set up practice, and if you want to accomplish this, well, then this and this and this has to happen. And it, you know, it gave me a jump start. The community itself was amazing. You know, it's just a small out in the country place, but everybody bought in for the youngsters. I mean, did whatever they could do. You know, it's basically a farm community, and I mean, I had inside track if I needed dirt work or water or that sort of thing, and you know, people just went out of their way. You know, we wasn't long on finances, but we got a lot of help. We had guys, 2-a-day practices, they'd leave practice in the morning, barely able to walk, and go work until practice that evening. That makes you have a world of respect, you know, for them. The favorite thing is when you're working with youngsters, to see those eyes clear up when he realizes he has real worth. And the second best thing is to see his mom and dad's eyes light up when they see he's happy. You know, in the long haul, that's your takeaway when we walked up in that dome the first time. I mean, his eyes was this big, and they was looking at, I mean, that was priceless. It was down the pain to see them. I mean, they were just in awe. And I'm not a big hug person, but I hug you after a state championship. You know? I'm getting a little softer since then, but I coached sons of guys I played with, and then before I got through, I coached sons of guys that were sons that I coached. I mean, I covered the whole gauntlet for 3 generations there. But I'm sitting there holding the hammer. I saw it all take place from the very beginning, and the history of the families, and it was just great to see. I'd like to run through some people that have had a big influence on the type of life I was able to live, and it started with my mom and dad. Both of them disciplinarians, but both of them loved us to death. And you know, I look back on my days of growing up, and I wouldn't change it in any way. You know, Oak Grove in itself, there's way too many people to think that had an influence on me personally and our program as far as the help they've done. But Mr. Gamble certainly was a big influence on how I went at things as far as how hard and fundamentally. And I can't thank him enough for kind of being that rock example there on this is what we'll accept and this is what we want. We had 2 businessmen there that were real successful, Randy Morris and Red Ruffin, that did so much for the program you couldn't even list it all. It allowed us to give an experience to the players that normally would not have been there because of things that these 2 guys come through with. You know, I was really fortunate. I had a lot of coaches that played for me that come back and coach with me. But you know, I've had guys all the way through that believed in work, bought into the system, and worked their tail off. And I was just really fortunate to be able to work with, you know, so many guys that were good people and were willing to work as hard as we wanted to work. The main people that I want to thank are the guys that played. I was so fortunate to be a part of a community and legacy of young kids that literally worked their buns off and would not take no for an answer. You know, sometimes being successful just boils down to how hard-headed you are, because if you look at it realistically, it's really not supposed to happen. And having that type of work ethic and that type of spirit, and we've had a bunch of them over the years, that's what I'm most appreciative of. I was just really fortunate to be placed in an area where I had those type youngsters to work with.
Once again, Vic Dalrymple. Our fifth inductee this evening, Sandy Fussell.
Hi, I'm Sandra Fussell. I was born in Napoleonville, Louisiana, May 4th, 1959, the daughter of Lindsay and Norma Bergeron. I have two siblings, Rodney and Courtney. They're much older than I am, so they were sort of like my mini parents when I was growing up, and kind of still are today. I attended the elementary school in Napoleonville, and then I spent my high school years at Assumption High School, which I later returned to coach for 35 years. When I got to high school, the only female athletic program on campus was track. And believe me when I tell you, that was not my sport of choice. So, you know, I helped out with the track team as a student manager. And then in my junior year, we formed a club volleyball team. That was back in 1976. And then my senior year, we were part of the Louisiana High School Athletic Association. We won the regional championship. I attended Nichols State University for my collegiate career. Two of my very good friends, Tammy Boudreau and Diane Campo Dugas now, were gonna get to play for the Nichols volleyball team. So I wanted to kind of be a part of it. So I went and asked the head coach at the time, Marion Curtis, if I could be a student manager, statistician. She said yes. And I guess, you know, I picked up the love for the sport, just sitting next to Ms. Curtis and just picking up things here and there. Chip Didier, who is a longtime volleyball coach in the state, he sort of mentored me at an early age when I got out of college. We used to sit in his kitchen for hours just talking, you know, about the sport, strategies, different things, fundamental skills. So I'm very appreciative of that.
I'm so proud of you for being inducted into the Louisiana Hall of Fame. So well deserved. You were an outstanding coach and just had tremendous teams. And I respected you throughout your whole career. Now that I'm retired, the one thing I miss about you and I is that I miss our talks at nighttime, strategizing on volleyball and laughing a lot, and me getting good ideas from you and you getting ideas from me. And it really helped, I think, both of us. But the main thing is I wanted to congratulate you on being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Good luck, and have a lot of fun and enjoy your induction.
My high school coach, Miss Mert Blanchard, was just a role model to me and was so instrumental in how I coached. It was very special for me to take over for her when she decided to get out of volleyball. And to this day, our volleyball program at Assumption High has only had 3 head coaches, Miss Mert, myself, and now Tara Campo, who is our current head coach.
Congratulations, Coach Sandy Fussell. You have accomplished so many things in the volleyball world. You have been a teacher, a coach, a mentor, a friend to me, and I thank you for that. But most of all, thanks for making the tradition of Mustang volleyball at Assumption High School. Congrats.
Softball was always maybe my first love. I was able to start the first softball program at Assumption High School. I had an opportunity to coach with my husband, who was also a coach at Assumption. He coached football, basketball. I think he did a little bit of everything. But we had an opportunity to work together in building our softball program. So that will always be very special to me. Lindsay and Morgan and Boyd, we were always a family tied into the athletic program at Assumption High. Both of my daughters played volleyball and softball. They were both all-state volleyball players. And it was very special once they got into high school to go to work with my husband, you know, my best friend, and then to watch my children grow in the program as well. You know, I believe that, you know, everyone has a calling, and the Lord chose me to, you know, live the life that I live today, allowing me to coach young women, you know, again in the past and now in the future. And I guess, you know, I'd like to thank God for just being the person that I am today. I'd like to also thank the Louisiana High School Athletic Association for this honor, being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'd like to thank Assumption High School for giving me the opportunity to both teach and coach there for 35 years. I'd like to thank my assistant coaches who were tremendous and played a tremendous part in the success of our volleyball program and our softball programs over the years. To my players, a tremendous thank you goes out to you for trusting in me to make you the volleyball and softball players that you've become, and also, more importantly, the young women that you've become today. I will always cherish our memories that we shared along the way, and please know that this honor that I received today is as much yours as it is mine.
Congratulations, Coach Fusel, on a well-deserved honor of being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I would like to thank you for all of your guidance, your mentorship that you have given me in my coaching career over the last 12 years. I love you, and congratulations once again.
Congratulations, Coach Fusel. What an honor to someone so deserving. You were the best coach I've ever had, and you pushed me to be my best in every aspect of my life. Even after my playing career, 13 years later, you still mentor and guide me as I step into my own head coaching position. Thank you, and congratulations again.
Coach, I can't think of anyone more deserving of this honor. The impact you have had not only on your athletes, but on the sport of volleyball in Louisiana in general is far-reaching. Everything you have done to establish the foundation at Assumption High School continues to be a tradition of excellence still to this day. So thank you for all you've done for me and for the sport, and congratulations.
I'd like to thank Ms. Mert Blanchett, my high school coach, who I guess molded me into the young woman that I was, and now the older and wiser woman that I am today. A big thank you goes out to Coach Don Torres, who was our head football coach at Assumption High, and served somewhat as my mentor in my years at Assumption, both as a coach and athletic director. Elizabeth Martinez was my childhood friend. She was taken away from us with cancer some 20 years ago, but she was so instrumental to me as a young girl growing up. We were always doing things together. Losing her, and still does, that leaves a tremendous void in my heart. But I know that she's always looking down on us. And, you know, every now and then I kind of ask her, you know, what would you do in this situation? And I still do that today. I guess the biggest thank yous go out to my mom and dad, who were very supportive of me in everything that I did, both as a child, growing up in high school, and even in my coaching career. They were always supportive. They attended all of my matches and games, and I can never thank them for everything that they've given to me to make my career what it is today. And then finally, my immediate family, my husband Boyd, my two daughters Lindsay and Morgan, and now my two grandbabies, Camille and Samuel, and my future son-in-law, Devin. I thank you for everything that you've done for me along the way and still do today. I will always cherish our memories and the love that our family has. And you know, I want you to know that you are my world, both in the past and now in the future. And I'll never forget what you've done for me.
Sandy Fussell. Our next inductee, Jackie Laborde Monkhouse.
I'm Jackie Monkhouse from Alexandria. I'm originally from Barlinville, a very small town in Avals Parish, known for its pig roast and delicious homemade cakes at the church fair. I went to Barlinville High School and participated in sports there. We only had 2 sports, but it's then that I realized I loved all sports at all levels. And it's then I realized that I wanted to pursue a career in coaching. After graduating from high school, I went to Northwestern, where I eventually got a master's plus 30 degree. My intentions were in undergraduate school to finish as quickly as I possibly could to enter the teaching profession and eventually look for a coaching job. Well, it didn't work out that way. Somewhere between my junior and senior year, President Richard Nixon signed the Title IX bill. Most small schools at the time had girls' sports, but most of the larger schools did not. And it was when I was student teaching that Mr. Gene Miette offered me a coaching position at Pineville High School. I was very reluctant at first, since it was a large school and I had never coached before. However, in August of 1974, I took my first step into Pineville High School at the age of 21 years old, not having lived long enough to know what I was getting into. Needless to say, the road was not easy. There was no junior high program, and up until this date, I don't know who came up with the bright idea of starting a high school program before a junior high program, but it was what it was. The challenge was great. We won 6 games that year, finished with a 6-16 record, and it's probably 6 games more than we expected to win. We received our first state recognition 4 years later when we qualified for Sweet 16, played in the state finals, got beat, but we were there. 4 years later, we won the first state championship in the history of girls' sport at Pineville High School. Six to 8 weeks later, we won the second state championship at the school, and that being in softball, the very first for the school in that sport. And it was a coach's dream to win 2 state championships in the same year with basically the same kids. I coached at Pineville High School for 33 years. Sometimes I think Pineville High School deserves this honor and not me. I had 5 principals during my time at Pineville. I want to thank those 5 principals for the support that they gave me throughout the years. I also had a total of 7 assistant coaches that I want to thank for their help. And I was surrounded by an awesome faculty and staff that I appreciate so much what they've done for me. And then there's the players. What can I say about the players? They're the hub that makes the wheels spin. There's not a coach that's ever been inducted into this Hall of Fame that has not had good players at one time or another. I thank the players for believing in me and having trust in me and having as much trust in me as I had in them. I thank them for all the memories, and they will never be forgotten.
Hey, Coach. Just wanted to say congratulations on your Hall of Fame induction. I know you deserve it, and it's probably been a long time coming. But thank you so much for everything you did for us in school. Really appreciate all the effort you put into us.
Hey, Coach Laborde, it's Anna Ivory Laverne. Congratulations on your induction into the class of 2023 Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. You have had an illustrious career as a teacher, mentor, and coach. The impact you have made on women's basketball in the state of Louisiana is unmatched, and I thank you for all of the time and energy you have poured into my high school and collegiate basketball careers. I am a better woman, daughter, friend, and mother because of you. Love you, and congratulations.
Coach Laborde, congratulations on your Hall of Fame award. Thank you for paving the way for young female athletes. Thank you for teaching me the fundamentals of basketball and great work ethic and discipline, because those are some things that I still use today in life. I'm glad I got the opportunity to play for you. Those were some of the best days of my life. And again, Coach, I congratulate you on this prestigious award.
The years went by quickly. There were many, many fun times, good times, bad times, sad times. And after coaching in over 1,100 games and having a tank full of memories, I decided that it was time to retire. There were several championships, several accolades, and several scholarships. But I wanted to spend more time with the best teammate I could ever have, and that being my husband, Walter. We share a lot of common interests and hobbies. From February to August, we are avid gardeners. We love being outside. We love being outdoors. He loves his vegetable garden where he plants several different varieties of cucumbers, and he specializes in heirloom tomatoes. And while he's doing that, I'm trying to add color to the landscape by planting and maintaining massive flower beds. In August, the yard is stripped, and he begins to plant rebar. And the passerbys then notice that we are beginning to get into our second hobby, and that's Christmas lights. We go from avid gardeners to Christmas light freaks. We have a large animated Christmas display that's been featured on HGTV, and we were participants in ABC's Great Christmas Light Fight. And the display is viewed by thousands throughout the area. It's something that we consider our gift to the community. And that brings me to today. 50 years after President Nixon signed the Title IX bill, 49 years after I took my first step into Pineville High School, Here I sit, now with gray hair and wrinkles, and I'm going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I can't begin to tell you how thrilled I am to be a part of a very elite group of people that has made so many contributions to high school sports in the state of Louisiana.
Congratulations, Jackie, on this fantastic and well-deserved honor. I can't imagine that when you were 21 years old and the principal threw the keys at you and said, start our girls athletic program at Pineville High School, that you would have ever thought that 6 decades later, you would be sitting here getting ready to be inducted into the Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame. You should be extremely proud of your career and all that you have accomplished. We love you, and again, congratulations.
Congratulations, Jackie Laborde Monkhouse. There's nobody better in girls basketball than you, and you deserve this award so much. I've actually been taking a yellow highlighter and filling in the squares, waiting for the LHSAA to choose you. Congratulations. Love you.
I thank you for listening to my story. May God bless each and every one of you, and may God bless the USA.
Jackie Laborde Monkhouse. Our 7th inductee, Randy Livingston.
It is not every day that a kid from the Callio Housing Project makes it to the Hall of Fame. The fact that I'm here is a testament to the power of hard work, determination, a love of the game, and a network of caring and supportive family, friends, fans, and coaches who pushed, encouraged, and mentored me to be the best that I could be. To my mother, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you ever did for me. You always been there for me through thick and thin. You worked extra jobs, you did bake sales so I could go on AAU trips, and you delivered everything in your power to make sure that I had a chance in life. A chance to succeed and be outstanding. To all the strong men in my family, my uncles and my cousins and my brother Ronald, who stepped up and watched out for me and turned and cheered for me at my every step. You have all been a role model for me, and I thank you for being there and being a part of my journey. To my sisters, Jessica and LaMonica, thank you. Also, I would like to thank my aunts for your support as well. And also to my dad, who although did not attend as many games as I would have liked, was a constant presence in my heart throughout all of my years of playing. To my coaches, I was coached by many excellent coaches over the years, and I'm grateful to all of them. There are 2 in particular I would like to mention. Firstly, Coach William Robinson, my Biddy basketball coach and AAU coach, taught us as kids so much more than basketball. His demeanor and his character helped shape me, and he took us on trips across the whole United States playing basketball, and also opened our eyes to the wider world. My youngest son, Arthur Robinson Livingston, bears his name as a testament to the vital role he played in setting my life on the right track. And Coach Billy Fitzgerald, my high school coach at Newman. Coach Fitz was tough. Man, was he tough. But there wasn't a moment when I didn't feel loved and respected by him. He had to be the best coaching mind that I've ever played for, and I still use some of his coaching philosophies to this day. I would also like to thank Dale Smith and Patrick Sumrall for hiring me 5 years ago to come back and return to my alma mater, Newman High School, and begin full circle as a high school basketball coach right back here where it all started in New Orleans, Louisiana, my hometown. I would also like to give a couple more coaches some thank yous. Kevin Sanders, Rock Wildbacker, Coach Wayne, Jerome Neely, Brian Tin Man Burns, Leo Young, Mike Jackman, Ed Graff, Dale Smith, legendary Coach Dale Brown, Coach Starkey, Coach Johnny Jones, and to all my former teammates, thank you. I was one of the lucky ones who survived a tough environment and beat the odds to make it to the Hall of Fame. Many are not so lucky. As a city, our record of incarceration and gun deaths is one of the highest in the country. This is not someone else's problem. It's our problem, our responsibility. Everyone who can help, please help in any way you can. Be a father to a kid whose dad is not around. Be a coach to a player showing promise about how to be their best both on and off the basketball court. Be that mentor who helps to steer the compass of a young man's life in a positive direction. My message is not that everything will be rosy. My message is to keep going no matter what. I'm often asked about my knee injuries and what might have been. I never reached the level of superstardom that many were predicting. I did not let that define me. I decided that I was going to continue to be outstanding in spite of the setbacks. I would not be defeated because of them. This is a lesson I share far and wide, because it's in those moments when you stand up from falling down that you grow the most. Finally, to my beautiful children, Kadaria, Jada, Jaden, Junior, Arthur, and Victoria, I am so proud of you all. You are my inspiration and my motivation to keep getting better every day. And last but by no means least, thank you to my wonderful wife, Anita. You are my best friend, my partner, and my love. I love us, and I love you. To all the kids out there, remember that talent tends to be a poor predictor of long-term success. Yes, talent is important, as is hard work. But more than anything, you have to love the game. The reward is the journey, and the journey is the reward. Thanks again, LHSAA, for honoring me tonight.
Randy Livingston. Our next inductee, Janice Cole Outlaw.
Hi, I'm Jan Cole Outlaw. I'm from Ragley, Louisiana. I graduated from South Beauregard High School in 1971. When I grew up in a rural area in Ragley. We were about 30 miles from the closest town, so we didn't have a lot of things to do that the kids in the city did. We played outside. We had basketball, baseball, we had horses. You had different kinds of sports that you would do at home, and you played in the neighborhood you grew up in, and my neighborhood was mostly boys, so we had a lot of the more violent sports like BB gun wars, and we would ride pine trees down and do all kinds of things like that growing up. In the 7th grade, I was playing basketball at Ragley High School, and my high school basketball coach was LaRue Cooley. By the time I was in the 8th grade, I was starting on the high school team. Then my senior year, we consolidated with our closest rival high school, which was Longville High School, and that year we became South Beauregard High School. During our 1971 season, that was the year that we went 54-0, which is not only a state record, but it's a record that cannot be beaten because teams don't play 54 games anymore. When I look back at the year that we had in 1971, I not only appreciate the success that we had, but since I've gotten older, I've come to realize the people that were actually a very important part of that success. Mr. Stratton was our high school principal. Bruce Brown was our vice principal at the time. Mr. Julius Miller was basically our Mr. Everything. Sally Smith and Sally and her husband Bobby used to travel a lot of times, even though her kids were still younger and weren't playing. They would travel and follow us to all the games, and I really appreciated that. Our coach was LaRue Cooley. He had coached me from the time I was in the 7th grade, and I had been around him since from Ragley, when I was in school at Ragley, to the school at South Beauregard, and he always had us prepared to win. And my grandmother, she would always cook me a steak and cream of wheat before every game so that would be her way to contribute to my success. My parents always supported me, and they always encouraged me to try to attain any goals that I thought were important to me. And they provided any assistance that I needed to attain those goals. My mother had played basketball in high school, so she would help me a lot of times. And a lot of times during the games, I would look up in the stands and she would have her head bowed. She'd be praying. And I used to ask her sometimes if she would just pray we'd win that night, if it was going to be a really difficult game. And she let me know right quick that she never prayed for me to win. She only prayed for me to be safe and to not get hurt during the game. Now my dad, he was a different story. My dad chose to go the yelling route. And most of the time he directed that yelling at the referees, but he did reserve a little of it for me also. But probably the biggest thing he did was he wore his lucky socks all 54 games, and that was probably why we had such a great season that year, is because he didn't change his socks. 51 years after competing in my last high school basketball game, I came full circle and started playing competitive basketball again. My best friend Janet Brown Futch and I competed at the Women's National Granny Basketball Tournament this past July in Kansas City, Kansas. The friendships that I developed during my high school sporting years are some of my most treasured friendships. There are two very special friends that I just don't know what my life would even be like if I didn't have those two people in my life. One is Janet Brown Futch, who is and has been my very best friend since we were in high school and we played basketball together. We've gone through college together. She still supports me as much today as she did 50 years ago when we were in high school. And another friend that is very dear to me, and that's Vernon Yellett. Vernon has been a friend of mine since I was in high school. He used to come in at lunch when I'd be shooting free throws, and he would challenge me because he liked to think he could shoot free throws as good as anybody else. And Vernon's a very wonderful person, but not quite the same free throw shooter that everyone else might be. Vernon has spent countless hours researching the old high school records, and he had my jersey retired from South Beauregard High School back in 2021. Vernon went on a step further, and he initiated all of the process of getting the information supplied to the LHSAA to have my name submitted for possible induction into the Hall of Fame. And without the efforts on Vernon and Janet's part, I would not be receiving this award tonight, and I am extremely grateful for all of the hard work and effort they've put in to helping me to get to this point and to be able to receive this award. I would like to thank my family and friends that are here tonight to share this moment with me. I really appreciate the effort that each of you had to make to be here. And to Michael, Mary Ryan, John and William, Kelby and Hannah, life would be meaningless without you guys. This past October, when I received the call from the LHSAA that I had been included in the 2023 induction class, the first person that I wanted to call was Tony Anthony. He was a person that my entire life has been an inspiration. He's been a guiding force in my life. He's been a family friend. He's always been a part of my life. I remember that call that I made to him when I told him. He was so excited and so proud, and he started calling people and telling them about that I'd made the Hall of Fame. And when he was later sick and in the hospital, he would tell every doctor, every nurse, every physical therapist, anyone that came in his room, he had to tell them that I had made the Hall of Fame. It didn't really matter to him that those people didn't even know me. They didn't know anything about me, could care less about me. The other thing that Tony Anthony has always said about me is when he would do an introduction to a new person that possibly didn't know who I was, he would begin the conversation with, "I have known her since she was 2 years old," which became quite a joke because he would tell that to the same people over and over every time he introduced me. So everyone knew that he had known me since I was 2 years old. Tonight, this is my time. I get to return that favor. I have known you and loved you since I was 2 years old. I dedicate this Hall of Fame award to you.
Janice Cole Outlaw. Our ninth inductee this evening is Mitch Small.
Hello, my name is Mitch Small. I served as marketing director for the Louisiana High School Athletic Association for 28 years. I was a 1977 graduate of Ludger High School, played baseball for LHSAA Hall of Famer Frank Monica, and played in the 1976 AAA State Baseball Championship. From there, I graduated from Nicholls State University, and after graduating at Nicholls State and working a couple of different jobs, I had the fortune to run into a buddy of mine by the name of Steve Worthy. Sports fans in Louisiana recognize Steve as now the CEO and director of the Zurich Classic. Steve is it who encouraged me to get my master's degree in sports administration from Ohio University, which I pursued. And upon receiving my degree, I interned with Jack Nicklaus in the Memorial Golf Tournament, a PGA Tour event in Dublin, Ohio. After my internship, like most college students, I needed a job, came back to Louisiana, applied with various sports organizations, and a guy by the name of Mickey Holmes, executive director of the Sugar Bowl, contacted me, said he didn't have an opening, but that a guy by the name of Tommy Henry, executive director, commissioner rather, of the LHSAA, was just in his office and had talked about sponsorships, maybe television and other revenue sources. Fortunately, Tommy had the vision for a marketing director. I was the right guy at the right time in the right place, and that led to the career I had. The neatest thing that came out of my career was I had the opportunity to meet my wife doing this. Celeste was Coach Celeste Janson Buchanan, who was at Avoyelles High School and was coordinator for the girls All-Star basketball game back in around 2000, 2001. And I met Celeste. And for several years, we were just friends. I'd see her at coaches' conventions and state championships. And a couple of years later, Ashley Duhorn, our business manager at the LHSAA, was getting married. I needed a date for the wedding. I didn't know a girl prettier than Celeste, so I asked her to the wedding, and the rest is history. Over the course of 28 years, I was privileged to have a front row seat to some of the greatest athletes in Louisiana history. Some of those that come to mind, Simone Augustus, Capitol High School, Elena Beard, Southwood, Tristan Smith in the Superdome for Salmon High School, Brock Berlin for Evangel High School, the great Randy Livingston was part of this class, Daniel Cormier, Northside High School, was a wrestler. Another kid that you probably haven't heard of is a kid by the name of Trey Chapman, who was a power lifter from Covington High School. Trey bench pressed 345 pounds, squatted 475, deadlifted 420. Trey weighed a whopping 114.3 pounds. That was a junior world record. Just fortunate to see those and many, many other great athletes over the years. There's a ton of people that I need to thank that helped me over my career. People don't realize the volunteer help we need around the state putting on these state championship events. First is Bill Curl. With the Superdome, Bill was just a mentor and a friend. Ron Bricata, who helped with the press box in the Superdome. All-State Sugar Bowl sponsors, Jeff Hundley's, Paul Houlihan, Richard Smith. The partnership we formed with them was fantastic. Robin Frambro, for your help over the years. Anytime I needed anything media-wise, you were there. State championship events in particular, Gerald Hebert, the work he did at the Cajun Dome and those state championships, fantastic. Eric Zortler in Lake Charles, Elena Cooper and Scott Brishkata up in Monroe, Kai Ricotta and his group at Southeastern, the host committee there, Kelly Wells and his group up in Shreveport, Lori Colzer and her group in Sulphur, the state softball and state swim meet. Another guy I want to thank for his help and friendship, Corwin Aldridge, years and years of involvement with our state cross-country meet, Northwestern for hosting that event. That was a really neat event. All of those people helped to make the LHSAA state championship events what they were, and a sincere thank you. I've got several friends that are here tonight. I can't tell you how much that means to me that they took time to be here. I also want to thank my mom for being in attendance, my son Jacob, daughter Janae, son-in-law Wyatt, and daughter-in-law Robin, and my 5 grandkids, Baylor, Emmy, Maggie, McCoy, and Molly. Thank you so much for being a part of this evening. Probably the greatest thing I take away from doing this job is the friendships I've made, all the various sponsors, not just locally, but nationally, friends I've made from other state associations, attending national meetings and regional meetings, the staff members that I worked with over the years, and the coaches and the principals that I met from around the state. Heck, they're from towns that I didn't even know where those towns were back in 1991, and now I've got friends all across this state that I'm fortunate enough to play some golf with, some hunting, fishing. So besides the memories, it's the friendships that I made along the way.
Mitch Small. And our final inductee of the evening, Dwayne Strother.
Good evening, I'm Dwayne Strother, coach at Florine High School. I'd like to thank the Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame Committee for this honor that they have blessed me with. To tell you something about this pure country guy, I was born and raised on Cockatoo River in Rapides Parish. I was born to a set of strict parents, and there were 6 siblings that they raised. I went on to Plainview High School, where I graduated and attended Northwestern State University, where I graduated twice with my bachelor's and a master's. There at Northwestern, I met my late wife, Charlotte. Charlotte blessed me with 2 children, a son, Chad, and a daughter, Jessie. Those 2 children blessed me with 5 grandchildren: Des, Kylie, Marley, B, and Drake. Then I have 2 ladies that have been real supportive of me. My assistant coach, Angela Anthony, have been with me some 20 years, and my daughter-in-law, which is an assistant, Christy. And here about 8 years ago, I had another young lady come into my life, my significant other, Lisa, and with her daughter, Ariel. But Now to talk about my career, in which I have been blessed with. When you come to Florine, you can go, I can show you every stat, every scorebook for every game that I ever coached.
This was his perfect season, 48-0, 1991 Lady Black Cats. Everything was always done exactly the same until this day.
Oh yeah, I believe in stats, because you got to have stats and numbers to back up what you've done and what the kids have done.
Well, to the town of Florine, it means a lot, because they really back us in the town of Florine. And to the school, the student body, and to the ball club, it means a great deal to hold a national record.
So the first stat book I started out with was probably about a 24 by 14 big old book. And you turn the pages, and every shot, every rebound, every turnover, every assist has been marked down, and it's on a stat sheet. And every scorebook from the very first time in '83 is into the end of this year will be in the filing cabinet at Florine High School.
And this right here was the state final game that got him his perfect season that year. 48-0. Pretty impressive.
My career started 40 years ago. I started the girls at Florine in '83, '84. I asked the principal, because that was the time of Title IX, and we knew the program would have to be started sooner or later. So I asked him to give me the privilege of starting the girls' program there, and that he did. So in the best way that I could come up with to honor all my players is I'm going to take you on a tour as you enter my office. As you enter the office, the first picture that you see ahead of you will be a group of 4 seniors. That's the group that started this program in '83, '84. Their first year, we won 4 games. Their 4th year of playing, we were state runner-ups. As we move down that wall, you're going to come to a group of ladies and a group of pictures of teams and individuals that were special. They won 4 state championships. A couple of these groups went 48-0, 43-1. They're the group that has played in the largest crowd that's ever watched a high school girls basketball game in Louisiana, right at 9,000 in the Alexander Coliseum. That group was also ranked 13th in the nation, and for a Class B school, that's a pretty outstanding accomplishment, in my opinion. But as we move down and move around to the next wall, these young ladies are the same, because in the group there, you're going to see several state semifinalist group and state runner-up groups. And then as we go around, we're going to come in on the 3rd wall, and here again we have seniors that were state semifinalists and state runner-ups and a state championship. And in the last groups of pictures that you're looking at, in the last 5, you will see the 3 granddaughters that made me extend my career to 40 years. And with that being said, I have 1,230 wins at this point. I have 20 appearances at the Final Four. I have 6 state titles and 5 runner-ups. So that's basically my career wrapped up for 40 years at being a Lady Black Cat coach. I've actually crossed this state. Most people don't realize the state tournament for girls, well, I went to it was in Alexandria. I went to it first in Lake Charles. Then we come to Alexandria. From Alexandria, we went to Shreveport. And from Shreveport, we went back to Ellick, I think, and from Ellick, we went to Monroe, and from Monroe, we was in Hammond. So the state tournament for girls has X'd the state, and I've been in every side. So that group of players that I went around that wall and shown, you would not believe the success, the type of person they've made in their life. I have teachers, I have anesthesiologists, I have nurses, I have cops, I have a number of different players that has gone on to a profession. So that makes you proud. If I could talk personally with every player, I would tell them how much I respect them, and I'm proud of them for what they have become in life, and the success that they have been, and I hope they remember me. I probably would have left 6, 7, 8 years ago, but they were just getting started. My oldest one was. And she asked me, she said, "Papa, would you finish me out?" I said, "Okay, I can hang in there for you." And then when that happened, and the second one decided, well, she needed her 2 years. And then after that happened, this baby that's graduating this year decided she wanted it. So that's the reason it ended up a retirement in 40 years. In closing, I'd like to thank several people that helped me in my career. I'd like to thank Coach Jimmy Leach. He's the one that gave me this opportunity as he was principal of Florine High School. Then I'd like to thank all of my family members, those that has gone on and those that are here with me tonight. They have been tremendous sport and have traveled many a mile following my career. And then I'd like to thank the two ladies that have been special in my life, and that's my late wife, Charlotte, and my significant other now, Lisa. And I'd also like to thank all the other principals that's always been there for me at Florine and supporting me. And in closing, I'd like to thank LHSAA for this honor that they have bestowed upon me. Thank you.
Dwayne Strother. As we wrap up tonight's event, I'd like to welcome Mr. Eddie Bonine, Executive Director of the LHSAA, to give some final remarks.
Every year I have the privilege to come up here at the end of the evening and congratulate the inductees. And think that there's no way they could beat the class that went in a year ago. But I stand here tonight to tell you what an incredible group. How about one more round of applause for all of our inductees? And also, we're in that mood of clapping. How about a round of applause for Jacques Duché doing an incredible job as our MC. Jacques, thank you. A few years ago, we instituted having the luncheon we had today at the LHSAA offices on Old Hammond Highway. Beautiful facility and a gorgeous opportunity for the inductees to see where their plaques that are going to go on that wall with all the 300 plus that have been inducted in the years in the past. And if any of you have the opportunity to come by, please, our doors are always open. We'd love to have you. Just come by, stop by, and take a look at that facility. It's unbelievable. And Mitch, congratulations to you, and also thank you for what you did for the LHSAA and having that facility that we have in the Hall of Fame room. Rich, thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate that. I'd like to thank our executive committee members that are here to join us this evening. We have the privilege of having our most recent past president, Mr. David Federico from Ecole Classique. David, thank you for being here as well. And Ms. Shannon Folks, principal from Sam Houston High School in Lake Charles. She's the second female to be the president of the executive committee of the LHSAA in the history of 100 years. So Shannon, congratulations and thank you for your leadership. Once again, I just did send an invite to all of you to give the opportunity to come by the facility, come by the offices at 12720 Old Hammond Highway. Anytime you want, the Hall of Fame room's open every day. So please come by and take a look at where the plaques of all the inductees this evening, as well as the others in all the years past, are there and honored forever. Again, thank you so much for being here this evening. And is it back to you, or are we done now? A few more things. Thank you so much, and have a good evening.
Before we go, two quick announcements. First, a huge thank you to Dirk Grazier and Varsity Sports Now for producing tonight's videos. And second, for those who want to take home a piece of tonight's memories, photographs can be ordered from Roma Pics, and the link can be found at the LHSAA website. And now it's time for the Spotlight Recessional. Please stand and help us bid farewell to our inductees as they make their way to the back of the room for autographs and interviews. Thank you all for coming tonight, and congratulations once again to the 2023 Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame inductees: William Bill Boffinger, Warren Capone, Kate Ripple Kramer, Vic Dalrymple, Sandra Fussell, Jackie Laborde Monkhouse, Randy Livingston, Janice Cole Outlaw, Mitch Small, and Dwayne Strother.